Yep, if you're undefeated, you're in the Final Four. If Bama knocks off Georgia, unfortunately, Georgia's out. My honest opinion, Bama's going to go in as a number 4, playing number 1 Michigan. I do not want to face Nick Saban in the Final Four.
I get that. So you're saying all undefeateds get in. So you're saying if Alabama beats Georgia and Michigan wins and Florida State wins and Washington wins, so you got Michigan, Washington, Florida State. Where's Liberty? They're undefeated. They're ranked 20th.
Yeah. Well, you got Ohio State with the 1 win and the University of Toledo with 1 loss, too. Where are they at? But no, I agree. I think undefeateds go in.
Right. Undefeated Power Fives.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
but in that scenario, who's the 4th team?
It's going to be Bama if they knock off Georgia.
No, but okay, we have that. Bama,
Michigan, Georgia, Florida State, and Washington. There's your undefeated Power 5.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No Texas.
No Texas. They both have 1 loss. But Alabama's the SEC champion under that scenario.
I don't really care who wins the Pac-12 championship, but I will be pulling for this scenario because I want to see what the committee will do with an Alabama SEC champ with 1 loss to Texas, who's a Big 12 champ.
Now, Ward is on the committee, correct?
He is, yes.
So he just can't vote for Michigan?
Can't be a part of those conversations, no. But if Michigan wins, okay. I mean, you could argue 1, you could argue 2.
Right.
You could only argue 1 if Georgia loses.
Correct.
All right. So, but in the other scenario, you have Washington and Florida State that are undefeated Power 5 champs. They're in.
Washington and FSU are in.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. That's 2.
Michigan loses to Iowa, 12-1. Not a Big Ten champ. Texas wins the Big 12 championship. They're 12-1. Georgia's 12-1. Not an SEC champ because Alabama wins at 12-1 as an SEC champ. Washington and Florida State are in. Who are the other 2 teams?
Alabama, Texas.
And if you go by resume, if you go by top 10 wins, Michigan still has a win over number 10 Penn State and a win over number 2 Ohio State.
Okay, here's my next question for that. I don't know the answer to that. Who would have the worst loss? Would that be Michigan losing to Iowa?
Oh, clearly.
Okay. Texas would have lost to Oklahoma.
And so I'll say this. If you lose to Iowa, you don't deserve to be in.
Okay.
But that's not the criteria.
Right.
That's not the criteria. The criteria is resume.
Can you imagine if that was a rule?
You lose to Iowa,
you
not
lose to
in.
a team that can't score more than.
Yes.
Maybe that's a topic tomorrow. You get to make the college football playoff rules.
Oh yes, I mean that would be awesome. In a world where there's only 4 teams, you get to a world where there's 12 teams, and you get in. But that's the question. Okay, then is it Washington 1, Florida State 2? Who is 3 out of a 12-1 Michigan, Texas, Georgia, Alabama?
Wow. I'd be biased, but I would take Georgia 3 and Michigan 4.
Even though Alabama just beat Georgia?
What?
No, I know. I mean, that's the question.
Oh, that's right.
Does Alabama go to 3?
Alabama beat
Georgia
LSU.
Only dropped down to 4.
Georgia. Yeah.
This is easy.
It's Georgia and Bama would get in.
Nope. You said Texas wins, right?
Texas wins.
It's
They're Big
Bama,
12
Texas. And it's not even
Probably.
close. And I was talking to Jimmy in the break, Mr. Georgia, around here, and he made a valid point, and it's now time to use it, that the Big Ten doesn't have any wins either, just like the SEC.
Right.
Right.
No, but that's why I say when you talk about wins, you have to look, and we talked ad nauseum about Michigan's first 9 games.
The best non-conference win is Texas.
It would be Texas 3 and Bama 4. And Texas has the best non-conference head-to-head win
right.
in the country. and therefore they're 3. They
and you
beat
could
them.
say best loss.
And Bama has the next best win, knocking off number 1. Nobody beat the number 1 team all year long. I think it's easy. And Georgia and Michigan fans would be besides themselves.
Right.
And I think you can make an argument for Georgia, but in that situation, you've got to go with that. The field determined it. The best regular season football game this year, non-conference, was Alabama and Texas.
Yeah, but then Texas lost to 2-loss Oklahoma.
I still think you got to reward them for the Bama win.
Yeah.
I agree.
They beat the team that beat the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah. I mean, let's be a little bit more realistic. I doubt it. You play the game because, as Gary Danielson said, he never played in the game, neither did I, where I didn't think I could win.
Right.
Iowa is going to believe on some level that they can win that game.
Oh, of course.
I don't. And what? Okay, take the point spread out of it. I don't know that you'd find anybody in the country that is just taking the money line that's going to say Michigan loses that game.
Well, they're going to take the money line because they think they can win a lot of money. That's the only reason you would take
Right, but you don't think.
No,
you don't realistically think that Iowa can beat Michigan.
No. Unless
this is the team that's it's a half point they're supposed to score per half.
Yeah,
that's the over/under is a half a point in each half.
Yeah.
Yes. The problem is they can't end up with 1 at the end of the game, so you're not going to have a push.
Let's go to.
They think it's even money. They get shut out.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Sean in Minden City, what's up?
Hey, this thing is such a mess, man. They have screwed this thing up every step.
I know.
It would have been so easily fixable if they had gone to 6 instead of 4 when they changed it the first time.
Agree.
You know, you get an automatic conference champion and you got 1 at large. It could have fixed the whole dang thing, but they don't because they're a bunch of morons or they're just after the money, whichever you choose to agree with, because these guys don't watch games.
I think both of those are probably dead on.
Yes.
I don't think.
Although there'd be more money with 6 teams, though, because there'd be more games, right?
Yeah, but then the stupidity plays into it at that point.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to do the same thing with 12, too. A team that loses their conference championship game should not go to the playoff in this scenario, in my opinion, ever. It just shouldn't happen because we're still doing the same thing we did all through my childhood, a bunch of old rich dudes sitting in a room that don't hardly watch the games, deciding who, by eye test, who's the best team. And I'm just so tired of it. They never fix it right. Just do it right. Just do it so you win, you're in. Yeah, you get an automatic bid for being a conference champion. You got 1 at large or next, 7 at large coming up.
Okay, so
that's the way it is next year, right?
Yeah, but okay, no, Sean, let me ask you the question then. Michigan wins, they're in. Conference champ. Washington wins, they're in. Conference champ. Florida State wins, they're in. Conference champ. Texas wins. Should they be in at 12-1 or Alabama, who, if they win, would be conference champ? You're going to have 2 conference champs. They can't simply win and get in.
I know. Well, that's why four was stupid to begin with. But we'll say that I will tell you Texas should get in, because if you're going to say that the games they've already played don't matter, then why does everybody complain about Michigan's schedule? Why would they play anybody if it doesn't help you at the end?
Right.
This is why everybody always complained about Michigan's schedule. Okay, so you beat Alabama, and at the end, it could potentially not matter at all that you played them in the early season? That's so stupid.
You're right.
Bama.
This is the beautiful thing.
You are correct.
That's why I'm begging for this scenario to happen.
And the whole knock against
it'd be great.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
The whole knock against Florida State is stupid too. I mean, you had
an injury.
You had a quarterback change in the middle of the national championship game at halftime 5-6 years ago with Tua. So you're assuming Florida State's quarterback isn't better, can't get it done. You're to keep them out when you had somebody's backup come in and win the national championship. Now, is there a Tua sitting behind Travis?
No.
This whole thing, you know what I come to the realization? This is politics. This is the closest thing to politics that we have in society besides politics. And you got everybody with their talking points on all their different platforms. You have your red states, you have your blue states. You got clowns like Desmond in the media. You got, I mean, the whole thing. Paul Feinbaum. It's like, this
is why you don't talk politics or religion. All right,
right.
Politics. We know where that's going to get us.
You can't change people's minds.
And college football, to the teams, to the programs that we're talking about, Michigan, Alabama, all of these different teams. That's a religion. And that's why it's so polarizing. Texas, it's a religion. If there is a state that cares more about their football than Texas, I don't know where that would be. And now you have a Big 12 champ, 12-1, who beat Alabama, and that's the debate. Texas or Alabama for that number 4 spot.
Okay, so where do these people meet, this committee?
I think it's actually in Texas.
Grapevine, Texas, I believe it is.
Is there going to be like a
I know
riot?
Paul Feinbaum will be the one that's burning the Texas flag.
That's when we know it's politics, when there's actually a riot outside or a run on the...
He said, over my dead body.
The quarterback...
Man down!
Would you run him over with the BBT if you could?
I think I would. I might try, but he'd probably just go right underneath. It's just a little man.
The Florida State quarterback who made his debut last week.
He might get an ear caught on the tire.
The two of Florida State, Tate Rodemaker, in his game last week, he didn't even throw for 50%. That's what the committee.
They won.
I'm just talking about what the committee. Is
They
that what I
won.
would say? I know, but I'm looking what the committee might say.
They won.
That's why he has to play well this week.
Yeah.
To impress the damn committee.